The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting group. Get involved with Access Fort Wayne and make your own television programming. Call 421-1250 to find out more.
Hello, my name is Sean Stockman of Boys to Men. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, darling, I can't explain. Where did we lose our way? And said it's driving me insane. And I know I just need one more chance to prove my love to you. And if you come back to me, I'll guarantee that I'll never let you go. Ooh, can we go back to the ways? Yeah. Ooh, can somebody tell me how to get things back the way they used to be? Sing it. Oh God, give me the reason I'm down on bended knee. Ladies and gentlemen, your host and producer of A Dose of Landis, Mr. Jeff Landis.
Welcome to A Dose of Landis. I am back in paradise. When I mean paradise, I mean look right here. Paradise is where I'm at. Welcome to A Dose of Landis. We're at my favorite location. I'm filming up here at the Coliseum. So stay tuned for some more interviews on A Dose of Landis in paradise. This is my welcome to A Dose of Landis. I'm with Enzo Morley. How's it going?
How you doing? I'm good. How you doing?
Not too bad. So tonight you got a concert here at the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum.
That's right. I got a concert. I'm playing music, real one in the How You Doing band live. Our second show on this tour. We did Louisville yesterday. Had a great group of fans come out for us, and tonight we can't wait to see you in Fort Wayne. Rock and roll for this city, man.
Hell yeah, man.
This place has got some great history. I always love it when I come to town, get my eyes on the city, the architecture, all that. It's cool.
By the way, my boys, JJ and Brett, I got the interview with Enzo. So
How you doing?
there you go. Thank you, brother.
How you doing? Enzo, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing? Everything's good?
Yeah, I didn't see some spring break.
Yeah, hell yeah, it's right, man. What's going on?
The Green Bay, Wisconsin tour.
Holy shit. That's scary right there. That's scary.
Oh boy.
How you feeling? Yesterday was the best day of my life. Yeah, dude, you wouldn't even believe what happened. I woke up today. Today's my yesterday.
I'm at Dose of Landis, like Heroes and Legends with the promoter of Heroes and Legends. I've known this guy back in 2002. I started out refereeing for you.
Probably 2002.
I've been wanting to interview him for forever, so get the chance to. So tonight, you returned into the ring. What can you expect? Because a lot of has changed since then.
You know, the first mistake that Nick Cutler made was putting his hands on me. The second mistake that he made was putting his hands on me in front of my kids.
I remember that.
I tell my kids not to ever use their fists. Only for defense, but I don't want my kids to ever think it's all right to be a bully. I didn't hit Cutler that night, but then he's been antagonizing me ever since the last show, and I need to show my kids tonight that it's okay to stand up for yourself. And so I expect to put Cutler down for a 3 count. This is my return to the ring in a very long time, but I'm in the best shape that I've been in my entire adult life. And I'm ready to get back in the ring, and I don't even have any ring rust, man. I'm ready to go.
So, different from, you're also the promoter of this event too, and it's talked about by a lot of people. You came from doing EWF to this.
Yeah.
What do you expect here at Heroes and Legends from anything?
Tonight, man, it's just going to be, foot to the floor, full speed ahead. We've overcome this coronavirus so far, and we're just expecting a great crowd tonight and a good time to be had by all. And Cutler's going to be looking up at the lights when it's all said and done.
Speaking of that, you realize that this is the first ever Coliseum pro wrestling event that you're holding, so you're making history in Fort Wayne.
Oh yeah. Well, we're the first out of coronavirus, right? Is that
Yeah,
what you mean?
yeah. So tonight we're making, we're making history.
Yeah. So that's good, man. Again, I just think we're gonna have a great time. I hope everybody comes out tonight to support professional wrestling. And after tonight, we're gonna be looking forward to coming back closer to the end of the year, and maybe things will be a lot better by then.
Now, Maples, I know we've been through a lot. I want to thank you very much for us, realizing that we're nothing but good friends, and I appreciate you for having me down here.
Of course, man. Of course.
It means a lot being back in the wrestling business, man. I love you, man.
Thank you, brother.
Man.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Man.
Stay.
Like, I'm connected to the
Hey, Jackie, this is Erwin Spencer, and guess what? It's time for you to pay up. And remember, everybody's got a price for the $1 million man.
If I get knocked out or whatever. I want to see somebody die. I want to see blood.
Wrestling superstars tell News Channel 15's Karen Hensel what they think of backyard wrestling.
This is when I did backyard wrestling. I don't condone it.
Don't emulate us.
Wrestling with Fate, tonight at 6 and 11 p.m. on News Channel 15. Coverage you can count on.
Now, this is old.
Sandy Thomas.
Teenage boys battered, bruised, and beaten.
Teenage boys are imitating the moves they see on professional wrestling. That has been going on for years. But the moves are getting more extreme. This News Channel 15 exclusive report comes with a parental advisory, and we do not recommend that children see it alone. Professional wrestling is big-time entertainment. The orchestrated mayhem packs arenas. But if you find this kind of violence disturbing, take a look at what News Channel 15 found going on in backyards around Indiana.
Oh my God.
He just darted him into the wall. Good.
It's called backyard wrestling.
Oh my God, he just crushed that pop can on his head.
Armed with video cameras, a love of wrestling, but little idea of how the stunts are done safely, kids are slamming each other, smashing heads, and throwing themselves from high places, all in the name of fun and a chance to make it to the big time.
I just like to see what, people's reactions. I want people to say, is he really hurt?
He tried to throw me out from the building.
Jeff Landis has hosted an Indiana backyard wrestling show since he was 14.
Basically kicking that crap out of each other.
He'll do anything to get noticed.
I don't care if I get knocked out.
Noticed by pro wrestling talent scouts.
Professional wrestlers train for months before stepping into a ring like this one. But teenage boys are watching them and then stepping into their own ring.
You're looking at people that didn't spend 3 or 4 weeks in their backyard learning how to wrestle. You're looking at guys who spent 10 years in Japan and Mexico learning how to wrestle. A chair's a chair. It hurts him, it hurts him, it hurts me. It's definitely going to hurt a 12-year-old kid.
But watch what happens in this tape of local backyard wrestlers obtained by News Channel 15. The boy is hit in the head 7 times. He never reaches up to protect himself.
The chair shots, I make sure he hits me on top of the head, the hardest part of my entire body.
Ron Owens is an Indianapolis wrestling trainer.
There are certain ways to do that. Right here, when he swings, the guy should be putting his hands up here. That's a solid chair on the top of the head. The head's not, made to take that type of abuse.
Wow.
News Channel 15 showed some backyard wrestling videos to the director of sports medicine at the IU Med School.
You could use this as a training film of what not to do.
Dr. Doug McKeag says they are wrestling with fate.
A miscalculation by a matter of inches, one way or the other, in a situation like this is just an invitation for catastrophic injury.
Right here in Indiana, we found more than one kid sent to the emergency room.
I broke both my arms. That was cool though.
Hundreds of backyard wrestling groups are posting their stunts on the internet. Others are featured on the Best of the Backyard tapes now being marketed nationwide. The matches here are close to sadistic, with wrestlers throwing themselves off of houses and roasting each other in search of a thrill. It's that kind of growing popularity that also scares the idols of the Backyard Boys, the pro wrestlers.
It's a world of difference taking a bump in a ring and trying to take a bump on a picnic table.
Anybody who does the backyard wrestling, I tell them, you guys are crazy.
But the Backyard Wrestlers aren't moved by these arguments. They say what doesn't kill them could make them famous.
You have got to respect what these guys are doing here. Oh! That, my friends, is backyard wrestling.
And the last thing we want to do is inspire anybody to try these stunts. Even though no one was injured, the risk of concussion or spinal injury is just too great. Tomorrow on News Channel 15 at 6, you'll meet a young man who hopes backyard wrestlers can learn from his experience. By the way, parents may pay the price for letting this go on. An Ohio man is being prosecuted for felony child endangerment after he watched his 16-year-old stepson jump off of a roof onto a burning board, and that boy was severely burned. That case has yet to go to court.
At least they're making parents responsible for this stuff.
Exactly.
This is scary.
It is scary, but now parents know what backyard wrestling is. We have taken backyard horseplay and boys will be boys to a new level, wrestling with faith.
This is Backyard Wrestling. Kids slamming each other, acting out the stunts they see in professional wrestling. But the pros say that's not how it's done. Before getting to the big time, most professional wrestlers pay their dues here, in small, independent wrestling circuits. But even before they get into the minor league ring, the wrestlers are schooled in the art of body slams and takedowns. At Ron Owens Wrestling School in Indianapolis, the goal is to make it look good, but not get hurt.
You guys' arms are protecting each other's head. Anything going to get hurt is his arm.
What the you doing?
Backyard wrestlers often videotape their matches.
That could be it.
Nobody is trying to get hurt, but technique and safety don't count for much here.
Backyard wrestling has gotten so popular, there are more than 400 leagues all around the country. What the pros say are teenage boys taking the old game of cowboys and Indians way too far.
It's going to be fun for a couple of weeks, and then when you break your back, break your neck, break your leg, guess what? It's not fun and games anymore, and you really didn't know what you were doing in the first place. And there's going to be no one around to remember it either.
18-year-old Kenny Burns learned that the hard way during a benefit wrestling match in December. He's not a backyard wrestler, had been training the last year in hopes of going pro, and he still got hurt. The wrong move left him paralyzed and in a wheelchair. He relived that night for the first time with News Channel 15.
Oh, you nerves I was facing. I don't even remember that part.
Then it becomes too real.
Hey, Mom. You go ahead and watch this. We're going to the room, okay?
The move called for Kenny to go to the top of the ring and push off, but he landed the wrong way on the hard floor.
They came running over there and I said, left? I can't feel my legs.
But Kenny says he's lucky.
With the training I received, if I wouldn't have taken the bump correctly on the floor, I probably would have had a much higher level of injury. I've been a quadriplegic instead of a paraplegic.
That's why Kenny says backyard wrestlers need to really look at him when they say they don't need training.
It's not worth it.
Ron Owens has eliminated risky moves in the WCWO of Indianapolis, and he maintains the one rule that he's always had for the last 15 years.
But nobody actually climbs in the ring that's not trained. You got to go through 6 to 8 months worth of training, you know.
He trains every Sunday afternoon.
You know, I got 2 guys right now that have been doing backyard wrestling.
Sure, host me, Jeff Landis, along with Bill DeMont. How's it going?
Good, Jeff. How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. You know, I got a story to tell you because we just talked about this right before you came in, and I've talked to other people that I've interviewed in the past.
Yeah.
Do you remember when WCW came here and they did a story on backyard wrestling, and then they were talking about all kinds of things about how you Lash and everybody was talking about getting in the wrestling business the proper way? Do you remember that?
Yeah. It's hard to believe that's 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Close to 30 years ago, right? Yeah.
And I was the one that was like, legitimately getting started in the wrestling business. I was holding up the mic and all being all nervous. And you were actually one because the crowd was chanting "Jeff is gay" because they were mad because I was able to do stuff on TV and stuff to interview. But it's kind of weird on how now we're here together at the wrestling event.
Full circle.
Heroes and Legends. And I'm like, wow, my goal is to get an interview with you too because
Full circle. Cool.
It's been forever.
Thank you, man.
So you're here at Heroes and Legends tonight?
Yeah.
What do you got planned? I see you got...
I tell you, to come in and, when we were contacted about coming to Fort Wayne, and it's been a while, COVID and everything else, and now you get to be in front of the fans again. So the opportunity to come to Fort Wayne is first and foremost to see the fans and come out here. And so you got some pictures and I got some books, but more importantly, get to just shake some hands and say thank you for the fans that coming back out. And there's, listen, behind us here, in front of us here in the back, there's going to be a great wrestling show tonight.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what drags me out of my house in Florida. You get the phone call, and then you got guys like Duke the Dumpster Drosy here, and IRS, and Ted DiBiase, and Sam Houston, and and the local stars. So it's a no-brainer. And then we got to come back, and at the front door, there you are, 30 years later, right? So it's awesome, man.
Well, it's crazy because, again, after all those years, you meet so many people, you've done so much stuff, and then in the industry, it's shocking when you remember some of the people, and it's crazy because sometimes you don't remember.
It just clicks sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Maybe you got to have that face and that personality for like, oh, I remember you.
That's it.
So, before we go, anything you want to say to the fans out here at Heroes and Legends?
Everybody come out if you get a chance, and for everybody who's going to be here, thank you for coming out. And I look forward to seeing everybody in person, pounding it, shaking a few hands, whatever the thing is, and come out and watch some good old-fashioned wrestling, and let's get back to normal.
I agree. This has been Jeff Landis on Dose of Landis with Bill DeMont. Stay tuned for some more interviews on A Dose of Landis because you're going to get dosed next. Dr. Dusty, how's it going?
It's going well, thank you.
It's kind of funny on how we started talking is I interviewed Paul Cornette, I think it was 2 years ago. He hit me behind my gimmick table. And I was like, I hit up Duke. I was like, how do we do a TV interview? Here we are, doing a TV interview.
2 years later, here we are again.
So you're here at Heroes and Legends tonight. What's in store for people to meet you for the very first time? I mean, I've met you, talked to you several times. For people that's met you.
Just a fun time, meet and greet, interacting with the fans, which I love doing. So glad to be back here, Heroes and Legends. So glad just to be back anywhere doing conventions again. Finally, we're getting started back up ever since COVID and all that nonsense. So everybody, all the wrestlers are glad to be out here interacting with the fans again. And I really look forward to it.
So what do you have planned for people? Do you do anything in the ring night?
Probably not. 2020 was a very difficult year for me, more than just because of COVID and all that. I have a prosthetic leg, and I got an infection in my leg last year that made it so I couldn't walk the entire year. All of 2020. I didn't get a new leg until right before Christmas. And it was in large part due to wrestling. I was wrestling with a prosthetic leg, and it was causing injuries, and it got infected. So I had to stop doing that. But I still do appearances. Maybe I'll do a little, well, I don't want to call it a run-in. I guess I'll do a walk-in. Maybe hit somebody with a can. I'll do that, but no wrestling. My wrestling days are definitely I don't want to go through that again with the legs.
So at the end of the trip, everything went back to the bag until we came back to Japan. And then he goes, we're going to eat these. I'm like,
yeah, we,
we're not going
interesting. When I got back,
it
was about 2018 when I started interacting with fans again, and people came on and started friend requesting me on Facebook. And then when they started asking me questions or showing me pictures or video clips and asking me questions about where it was or what happened, that would spur memories of stories. And I started writing out the stories, and they started getting longer and longer, and people really reacted and loved it. So we just got to continue doing that. Lately, I'm having trouble remembering any more stories, but every so often I'll see a picture or something that reminds me, and I'll write another story. And as far as the podcast, we are a podcast network called WWAB Podcast Network. It stands for Wrestling for Anything But. We're working with a gentleman named Avi Klein. He has several wrestlers. Working with him, myself, Mr. Bill DeMont over there has a podcast as well.
He was on TV earlier.
Yep. Don Morocco, Ken Matera, Paul Roma,
Ray Lloyd Glacier and Bill Hooks, the Patriot, and all have podcasts on this network. It streams through Facebook right now, so you can see it there every day of the week. There is another podcast free for people to watch, and they're doing really well. The name of mine is Road to Recovery. I help people go through difficult issues and trying to find their way out and find redemption in their lives, whether it's substance abuse or other types of difficult situations. And we're getting really good feedback and really good response. And I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Yes. And then you say the fans out there.
Love you guys, man. Come on out, see us, and buy some gimmicks, and come out and shake hands with the dumpster. And,
that one I recognize.
It's good to finally get back out here and see you guys again, and I really look forward to it.
Take some more on those fans.
I'm introducing myself.
Yeah.
I am Kevin S. Nast of Damage 365 Promotions.
So this is how me and him linked up. He had Eric Bischoff come to Fort Wayne. I was actually talking to Kamal about that too, about how we linked up. And we ended up becoming good friends. And it's crazy on how things work out in the business.
Yep.
Because again, you run into those crazy fans, and then you run into those. This guy calls out everybody. If he sees that you're smutty or...
If you're screwing up the business and making my job 10 times harder to prove that we're not all like that, then I'm calling you out.
I've seen it several times. I want to also thank you for complimenting me in that Eric Bischoff video that you had with the virtual thing. I'm surprised you remember that too.
Still young enough not to lose my memories.
Right, for sure. Now tell me a little bit about your promotion and how you got started and what do you do?
We got started... I'm originally from the retail field. I also worked for Major League Baseball for almost a decade. I was also with the Staten Island Yankees until they lost their affiliation last year. And 2012, I decided, let's start not a podcast. Let's start a live radio show. Some people don't know the difference. A podcast is something that you record, you edit, make sure you fix any of your screw-ups, and then you post it. Live radio show is live, so if I screw up, you're all hearing it, just like, I fully expect you to keep my screw-ups at any point in this video.
Well, that's how you always do things, we just go with the flow.
So, I sat down with my cousin, literally, I think I posted this picture on our anniversary, which was April 6th. Over 2 slices of buffalo chicken pizza and 2 laptops. Didn't have external microphones, didn't have podcast microphones. We had nothing. It was just literally 2 laptops, a couple slices of pizza, and we found a platform to use. It was like 30 minutes free. Went on. We were talking baseball, football, hockey, and then the last 5 minutes was wrestling because WrestleMania was the next day. So we just started doing our predictions. We put it up there fully expecting absolutely nobody to listen to it, and then everybody was listening to it. And I was just like, damn. I'm like, as bad as the audio was, too. Because we were playing music, and it's feedback.
Yeah.
Because it's playing through the laptop speakers, but going through the laptop microphone. So it was just a disaster. So after we started gaining, some audience, I was like, you know what? I started buying the equipment, doing it the right way. Then I paid for the subscription to extend our time period that we could do the show. And it went from a half hour talking wrestling for 5 minutes to 45 minutes talking about wrestling to 10 minutes to almost 2-hour shows talking about wrestling for 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
So, so it kind of morphed from there. We had all types of guests, not even just wrestling. We had former baseball players on, we had celebrities, we had the Bill Dwyer, he played the father from Field of Dreams. We played Kevin Costner's father, we had him on there. So anything that was sports related we had on, and then we kind of morphed into just wrestling. So we started doing conventions to get our name out. Show up to a convention, set up a table, grab a couple wrestlers, do some interviews like you're doing. We had all marketing material out, pens with our names on them, drink koozies, bags of candy with our names on the ribbon, anything that we could slap our name on, we had out. So, I'm watching all this going on. This is late 2012. I'm watching all the things going on, all the wrestlers walking around saying hi. And I don't even remember who I spoke to, whoever was sitting next to us. And I was like, asking them, how does this work? And they explained how the whole convention scene worked. And I was like, we could probably make a better name for ourselves if we actually brought a wrestler in under our banner, sitting at our table. So that kind of would give us a little bit more of a name for ourselves. So the first person that we brought in was Gary Wolf and Axel Rock.
Oh, sweet.
So we brought them to a Middletown, New York show. And then we did a big event for the first time in Queens. We brought in Nyla Rose before she was anybody. Former ECW Angel Orsini. And then it just took off from there. And, you know, I guess our first big name guest was that same year at Legends of the Ring. We brought in Just Incredible and Cowboy Bob Orton. So and then we kind of just got away from the radio side of it at the shows and just stuck to the wrestling side of it and continued to do the radio show all the way up until during the heat of COVID. I was doing like COVID interviews during the week, interviewing wrestlers to see how they were coping with the whole COVID situation, staying safe. They picked up any new hobbies while they were in quarantine, any advice they could give fans, especially the ones that were like very athletic and physically fit and going to the gym all the time, what they were doing to help people at home that couldn't go to the gym, you know, to keep themselves active. So yeah, but then we just, the radio thing with me, as far as doing the show, we're not doing it anymore. But I still have the network, and I have 3 other shows under the network that still run their shows on a weekly basis. So that's still going strong. We still got sponsors. And yeah, as you can see, you know, this is our 3rd trip back to Indiana doing the show. And we're happy to be here.
It's crazy. We became good friends. He didn't know me from anybody.
Yeah, just a guy who messaged me on Facebook.
And look at us. We're really good friends. We talk a lot. You know, we should... Ish.
Yeah.
I gotta keep it kid friendly. But before we go, anything to say to the fans that's watching Heroes and Legends?
Say that one more time.
Anything
to the fans?
To the fans that's here coming here.
Look, I thank all the fans that come out and show their support to independent wrestling, to all of us, our business owners that do this. You know, as many people know, this is not a hobby for me. This is what I do for a living. You know, this is my business, and I take pride in it, and I take pride in my customers and anybody that purchases from us. You know, I thank them, and word of mouth getting us new customers, and I appreciate it. I appreciate Jason Maples for putting this together again and taking a chance and bringing the Yankee down from New Jersey to do his show. And it's a good time. You know, Jason and I did the same thing. We just started talking on social media, and he was like, hey, why don't you come down and do my show? We did Eric Bischoff the first show. I brought Molly Holly and Kelly Klein the second show. Today we have Allison Kay and Kimona, you know, and who knows if there's going to be a second show this year. I don't think we know that yet. But, and I'm waiting for him to do his Tennessee show.
Yeah, can we play that?
Dude, I can't wait because I want to go to the Titanic Museum in Pigeon Forge. I'm a big Titanic mark.
Yeah, that's
and I'm doing wrestling, but I'm a mark for the Titanic.
Sometimes you gotta have enjoyment out of wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for watching Dos Landis. By the way, here's the banner.
Thanks, guys. Visit us, d365promotions.com, for all our signings, virtuals, and otherwise. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys.
Welcome to Dos Landis. Here's my special guest this evening is. So, wow, she's hitting on me already. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't want to get in trouble. Don't need that. But anyways, we're here at.
You like trouble?
Oh yeah, I mean she had the highest rated thing. Actually, I just talked to the photographer about you earlier about how they work ECW and stuff back in Michigan. So we're here at Heroes and Legends. What do you got for us? And I know you love the fans.
They're fun. Fun. A bunch of ECW ones, most of my like popular outfits, and of course this one. I always say this one. It looks like I spent time in jail because.
Oh, I did not notice
I just noticed that too. I was like, wait, is this where I spent time in jail with the numbers here? But no, we have the Light Me Out ones. I get to fly around.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're in WCW too.
Yes.
I remember that was like early 2000s, wasn't it?
Yeah, but before I went to WCW, Vince Russo at the time, that was WWE, WWF at the time, and he brought me over there. And when he jumped ship, I'm pretty loyal, so I just go, hey, he hired me for WWE. He left before I could actually be on TV. So I went to WCW.
Yeah, you gotta be loyal to people who brought you in.
Yes.
It's like, hey, because if you show loyalty, like I do to my job, I work 6 days a week. Thank God I got today off.
Yeah.
My boss was like, I was like, I got a wrestling show that I referee too, and I'm doing interviews. Like, oh, you have a day off. I'm like, what? So yeah, loyalty can get you very, very far.
It's huge. Loyalty is huge.
And I noticed you worked with Kevin a lot too as well.
Yes.
Different signings and stuff like that, virtual and everything else.
Yes.
I met Kevin through Eric Bischoff. I interviewed Eric Bischoff on our show for I think 2 years ago. I don't remember. It was years. You know how it is.
Years just clash together.
Yes.
Like time just.
It's all mixed in. So before we go, everything you say to the fans that's coming out here to Heroes and Legends tonight. What do you say to them?
Hey guys, come out tonight because I'm only going to be here tonight.
Tonight only.
Just tonight only. It's the first time actually in India.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So did you stay overnight? Or?
Yes. Yeah.
What do you think about Fort Wayne?
You know, the people are nice actually.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. The people are nice. I like seeing grass trees. I'm big into. I do bonsai trees. So
sweet.
So I like. I deal with a lot of flowers and stuff. That's a hobby. So I like grasslands and and just farmlands.
Sweet. Thank you for watching Dos Landis. Stay tuned for some more interviews. Welcome to Dos Landis. We've got tons of interviews from Oscar, Duke. Now we got Candace Michelle. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Excited to be here. Thank God I'm off work today.
Yes.
But anyways, you're here at Heroes and Legends tonight doing autographs as well. What can we expect to see tomorrow?
I'm actually not here tonight at the show.
Oh.
Only here doing the autographs. I'm just excited to be out here and get to see everybody. With everything going on, finally out at the convention, it's just so awesome. I think for everybody to get out a little bit.
Okay, I know you're familiar with Fort Wayne. You've been here a lot.
Yes.
Sure. Now tonight, what do you got here at your?
Yeah, autographs. For the first time ever, I got my Magic Star wands.
Oh, I'm a star.
Exclusive company, exclusive only to Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yes, limited edition. You can buy
So
all
even-
10. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
That's his job. My job is just to come out here and be.
Finnell with the fans.
So like I said, anything to say to your fans that's coming out here to Heroes and Legends tonight? That was me.
Yeah, I just say come out, let's have a good time. It's so exciting to actually see people who kind of took that for granted, I think,
Oh,
this
yeah,
past
yeah,
year.
yeah.
So now that we can come out and just socialize a little bit, connect, it's one of my favorite things. I've always loved to do with fans. So you get a chance, I'm here for 1 more hour, and I'd love to see them.
You better come now. I should have posted this on Facebook. You better come now. And now oh no, she can't. But just come now. She's worth it. Her personality is great.
She just broke your glasses.
I'm gonna text my he deserved it. I'm gonna text my boss.
Okay.
I can't make it to work on my birthday, which is on Monday.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, by the way.
Yeah, his birthday's Monday too.
Oh man, she hurt me. She dosed me. Welcome to Dos Landis. My special guest this evening. I think he's been on the show before, like twice. I think he did also the opening for the show.
I must have been at least twice because I've been coming to this thing for about 10 years in a row.
Yeah, it was twice because I remember the first time I met you, you did the Dos Landis rant. Do you remember that?
Right.
And then we did a second interview. So what you been up to since everything's changed and you're part of the history-making event with COVID and stuff?
You know, I've been laying low from COVID, but during COVID, I found out some disturbing news. I did not know that I had heart problems. So I wound up having to get a defibrillator. So that has slowed me down considerably. But that's been ramping back up. I'm starting to feel better, getting out there, doing more traveling and stuff like that, more events like this. But basically, watching my step, trying to lose weight, trying to, eat healthier, get healthy, and get stronger so that, I'll be around.
Now, Heroes and Legends, what do you got here? I see brand new Men on a Mission shirts and you got 8x10s as well.
I got 8x10s brand new, but I got a brand new thing that I'm going to do this year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm going to do, I'm going to do personalized raps.
Oh, sweet.
You want to rap about, you want something personal for yourself, I can do that. You want to break up with your girlfriend, I can do that. You want to, say how awesome you are, I can do that. You want to send something for your mother, I can do that.
Oh, nice.
For next Valentine's Day, I can do that. So you get the picture.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I'm doing that, Johnny on the spot.
Sweet, that's awesome. Thank you to hear first on Dos Landis. Interesting to see that for sure. Before we go, anything to say to friends out there?
No, man, I'm just glad. I'm glad to be here. With everything that's I've been going through. you know, with COVID, I'm just glad that we are all out and about this year. You know, we got shut down last year, so let's keep it going. Get vaccinated so we can get life back to life.
Stay tuned for more on Dos Landis. To Dos Landis, my special guest this evening is Carlito. How's it going?
So far, so good.
So you're here in Fort Wayne. What do you got going on here in Fort Wayne, Indiana tonight? I know you're wrestling in a match as well, but tonight you're also doing autographs.
Apparently so. Yeah, we're doing this little fan fest right now, and then later on, I'll be taking on Chris Masters.
Well, that's gonna be interesting. You guys have a rivalry going on. It's been forever.
We do.
Anything going playing that you have for him?
No, I mainly aim for NBA 2K supremacy, but the wrestling is secondary. But you know, on top of that, I expect to come out on top of it.
I heard about Chris.
So tonight, Coach Carlito at Heroes and Legends. We got pictures, autographs, and a fan-friendly guys are over here. To Dos Landis, your host, me, Jeff Landis, along with
Scott Romer.
So Scott, I've known you for a long, long time. So you wrote a book. Tell us about it.
This is called When It Was, My Life on Both Sides of the Camera. We're selling them here tonight, and it's about my life in the photography business. And you know, I started looking at all these old pictures and what I've done, and I decided to write a book. You'll see Dick the Bruiser in the book. You'll see my tag team champions. You'll get to learn a lot about me, about all my experiences that I had by getting my book. It's been a wonderful life. I wouldn't change it for the world, and we've been getting some really great reviews on the book as well. It's available on Amazon, or you can get one from me. Just send me an email at scott@scottromerphoto.com. Scott Romer, R-O-M-E-R, scott@scottromerphoto.com.
Cool. I picked up a copy here at Heroes and Legends and just get all of him. Thank you very much, Scott.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Here you go, brother.
Thank you very much, man.
Want me to sign it?
Yeah, please. Yeah. Your host, me, Jeff Landis, along with Jeff the Ref.
What's up?
You stole my name, Jeff nowadays. But anyways, we've been talking for years and years. We have to work with each other. 2017 is when we actually have to do it.
In this building?
Yeah, this exact building. And so you've been doing this business for forever, huh?
About 9 years, yeah. 9 years, yep.
Sweet. So you've done everything from JCW to countless promotions.
I worked for MLW. I worked for Evolve Wrestling. I work here for Heroes and Legends, Juggalo Championship Wrestling, just to name a few of the companies that I actively work for right now.
Sweet. I would love to do, I was interviewing Earl Hebner. It all comes in a blur with these interviews a year. So I was thinking we should do one of these days. I don't know if I brought this up to you or not, to Justin King, Earl. We should have like a referee for the round table.
That would be amazing. Just the amount of knowledge and the amount of stories that could be told at that table would be pretty amazing. So.
Because we're the untold story, end of the story.
That's right.
So I think, would you be interested if I did those things like that, have like Jack Dillon on, you on, and
I'm game for it.
Sweet.
Just let me know.
Oh yeah, for sure. So being a part of the wrestling business, what drove you to like, I gotta do this?
I thought that the WWE and television wrestling was the only wrestling that existed through my whole childhood, and then I went to a music festival and they had wrestling there, and I actually got to be like right up and close and personal, and then I fell in love with it. I became friends with some of the workers who took me under their wing, and here I am 9 years later, still plugging along. So,
say for instance, if I didn't know you and I wanted to book you, I start my own promotion. If I wanted to book you, how could I do that?
I'm glad you asked that. You can find me on Facebook at Jeff Bundy. My Twitter is at Ref Jeff Bundy. I dabble a little bit with Instagram, but you have to forgive me because I don't even know what the handle is on it. But the other two that I just named, you can reach me there if you need to, as far as booking.
Sweet. See you tomorrow, Dos Landis. Welcome to Dos Landis. Your host, me, Jeff Landis. If you don't know who I am, you're watching the wrong channel. I've never heard of him. I don't even know who I am. I'm afraid to be on camera. Oh, wait a second. We are on camera.
Me too.
Speaking of that, here I am with this guy is a great photographer. He's been doing it for how long?
About 25 years.
25 years. How did you get started?
I became the freelance photographer for ECW Wrestling in Michigan around 1999.
Sweet.
Purely by accident.
Hey, but I noticed you have a passion for photography. You do music as well. Again, like I said, as an entertainer, photographer, you got to go all around. You got to do something in the entertainment business, and you found your
Absolutely.
niche with doing that and then in a band.
Love it.
So, say for instance, if I wanted to get photos professionally done, because I've seen you done a lot of them through professional wrestling, music, and whatever. How can I get a hold of you for that?
I can be reached. I'm on Facebook, John McEvers. If you want to find my photography site, it's McEvers Photography. And I also cover a page called Michigan Wrestling Illustrated, which now has been covering more than just Michigan. It's been covering Ohio and Indiana, especially Heroes and Legends. This is my 7th go-round.
Oh, wow. And actually, this
Heroes
is
and Legends.
I met you, I think, what was it, Smash Fest or Heroes? I'm not sure. I met you at one of them.
Yep.
So, yeah, like I said, go to this guy. Great with his stuff. So, check him out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Along with the Ringmaster. What's up, guys? What's going on? It's been about a year since I've seen you guys.
Yeah. Last time we was here, we did an interview with you guys. Plus, we did an interview with Baby Doll. We did an interview with T.P. Miller from WW and a host of others.
So you guys have become good friends of mine. Check it up on me whenever I'm down. Thank you. Appreciate that very much. So if I want to check out Ringmasters, where do I go to?
You go to facebook.com/ringmasters, or you can go on King Remasters on YouTube channel. And speaking of that, we got a project coming up right now. We just got started on a little bit. It's called the Holy Balls Group.
Oh, okay.
So you need to come check that out.
And you also have to check out, we do on Ringmasters, we do a Jimmy Wang Yang. He has a promotion going closed out, and we take pictures and snapshots and stuff for him, so you have to check out that new project.
Called JCY Videos. Big shout out to Jimmy Wang Yang and our whole
Hey, Char. You guys got fans.
Yes, thanks. Big shout out to Jimmy Wang Yang. Go check out his promotion. JYC Videos down in front of
JCY Videos.
Yes.
Are you okay?
And we got.
I wish you
Oh yeah, I heard a rumor that someone's birthday is on Monday.
Yeah, I'll be actually
Oh, wait a minute.
Well, wait a minute, we got a surprise for you.
A present?
Yeah, we got a present.
It's gonna be Boys to Men tickets. I'm just kidding.
No, not that one. Not that one.
All right, let me turn around.
Yep. Don't worry.
Okay.
Don't
You
worry.
can turn around.
Turn around.
Happy birthday.
See, happy birthday, but there's one thing to the surprise. See, the reason why we call ourselves the Holy Balls Crew, because
Hold on, you got more.
I got more.
I just got dosed.
Yes, you did get dosed. You got dosed with Landis and you got shenanigans real quick fast. So like I said, if you haven't seen Dose of Landis, go check it out and
But I got
subscribe.
something to ask you, Jeff, if you can help us out.
What's that?
Can you help us do our chant?
What's the chant?
The chant is down for the cause. We got two words for you.
And now,
Holy balls.
Cover them. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Welcome to Los Landis. My special yesterday. I can't believe I have him. I have a Hogan on. Yes, I've had Hogan on. Hulk Hogan. Wait. Hank Hogan. Oh, Hank Hogan. I'm sorry. He's got my belt. He's got my belt. I was wondering where it been. Let me tell you something, brother. What's that?
Well, let me tell you something, brother. We're here at Heroes and Legends. All these superstars here, former WWE Hall of Famers here today. That's right. Hank Hogan's here to meet them. And let me tell you something, brother. If they get out of line, there's a ring right over there, and we'll be taking care of business, brother. So what you gonna do when Hank Hogan, the Dose of Landis, runs wild on you? I beat him for this title. Bye-bye. It's me
On the next
Dose of
convention,
Landis.
pending how I'm feeling.
Like my new title? I won a title. At Bray can do nothing. Yeah, this is my title. Wait a second. Who's? But then
Let me in.
I just peed myself. I'll be back.
14 is scheduled for one fall. And introducing first, your referee for this match, Jeff Landis.
Welcome to Dos Landis. Your host, me, Jeff Landis. If you don't know who I am, you're watching the wrong station, wrong channel. I have no idea who I am. I'm nervous. I've never done TV in my life. We were just talking about that before. How do I do this? Anyways, I'm just kidding. I'm your host, Jeff Landis, along with...
I'm Matthew Thomas, the owner of Super Cool Radio.
So how we end up networking is Alan Helms of Midwest America. Am I saying that right?
Mid-American Entertainment.
He always gets on me for that.
Great guy.
Yes. And he was like, link up to people who's got their own business, et cetera, et cetera. So Matt was like, oh, I like wrestling. I was like, oh, I like wrestling. And, oh, I like music. I like music. So we ended up linking up, and we found out we got a lot of stuff in common. So how old are you again?
I'm actually 23.
23.
Yeah.
So being a young guy, I started doing TV at age 14.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I'm going on 40. Well, I'm 40 now. Well, this is, you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's what made you decide, I want to do radio?
So I've been doing Super Cool Radio for like 2 years now. And actually, how it started was I kind of knew that I applied to different radio stations and stuff, and I kind of knew like I wasn't hearing anything back, and no one really was taking interest. So I just I'm just going to start my own station. It was internet radio, and I was just spinning music that was like independent and stuff you really didn't hear a lot. Like I'm a huge fan of Alice Cooper, favorite artist. but you really didn't hear his music on the radio station. He's got a whole discography, and you really only hear a few songs. So that was kind of like my idea, is to spin music that not many people either heard about or that people were surprised I'd be playing. So I kind of started that. I did that for about a year, and then I switched to a podcast because it was easier, because you don't need licensing, you don't have all the fees, and because it was a lot of work running the show and going to work. I think, as you definitely know.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So I switched to doing interviews, and like once a month I do my radio show.
So I noticed that with us talking, you see all the frustrations I get from having these big names on, and I've seen you had a lot of big names on as well. People don't understand, agents. Some agents are cool. Some of them's a pain in the ass. So, who's been your biggest name that you've had on, and like what's been the most craziest headache that you dealt with an agency, or just somebody just trying to get on? You try to get on a show, especially for somebody that you determined to have on.
A lot of the times I don't even hear an answer back. Most of the time, if I do ask somebody, like just cold ask, just out of the blue, just ask for an interview, usually I don't hear back. Or sometimes I was dealing with one agency, and they would be like, "Hey, they were pushing like, "Hey, we want you to interview these two bands." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, not a problem." And then they come back like, "Hey, how about you interview this band instead?" And I was like, "Well, what about the last two bands you were talking about?" So nothing like too crazy. Sometimes there's actually a lot of miscommunication sometimes with like emails and stuff. I don't know if, as you know, kind of with emails, it's sometimes people don't see it right away.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes they I'm like, "Hey, I'm putting out a show. It'll be on this day," and then sometimes they don't get back to me for a week, so then we have to reschedule and stuff like that. But nothing's been too crazy. I've had a lot of support and a lot of help, and that's really what, like the interview with Crash Karma, my friend David Hurley of DRH Promotions really helped me set that one up. So that was really cool. And my friend Aaron Cole Studio Talk, who's been really helping me, and I kind of learned how to do an interview from him, because I'm not trained. And like I'm done over 100 interviews so far, and like I wasn't actually trained to do interviews or even radio. I just started doing it, so it's definitely a learning curve with everything. I think, as you kind of know, so it's a real different experience doing digital interviews compared to in person like we're doing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes technology doesn't work right, or sometimes the person cuts out because of the internet or whatever, and so those are a little bit harder sometimes. I love doing in-person interviews because I actually get to meet the person and stuff. So I know that I'm going to be working on some great stuff. I'm actually an official partner with a record label this year.
Oh, sweet.
I'm saying this wrong. DI Records, there we go, out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They're a really great record label to work with. They've set me up with a lot of great interviews. So Dakota, thank you so much. Make sure to check out DI Records. They're really great people to work with.
I noticed you're very humble. Again, some people, when they get in the industry, I won't lie. When I was young, I started out very young. I was cocky. I was arrogant. I like I'm untouchable. Sometimes reality hits you hard, especially when you try to get your guests on. But like I said, now I'm humble about everything. Again, like I said, people don't understand it. It's hard to try to get these big names on that you're trying to get on. Now, is there anybody that who's your dream interview that you want to have on?
Well, I answered this for my 2-year anniversary show, but definitely Alice Cooper. I've seen him like 4 times in concert. I love his music, and I just love the stage show he brings. And I know we would really have a cool conversation about everything. But he would be my number one. Like if I interview him, I know that I've made it. That like after that interview, if I had to retire or do something else, I know that like I'm satisfied. But I would really like to interview Heaven Below. I messaged them, and I haven't heard back, unfortunately, a few times. So, but they would be really cool, really great rock band out of California. But another person, I would say that if I could interview, would be Nina Strauss, the guitarist for Alice Cooper. She does a lot of great work. Not only like she's a huge wrestling fan as well.
Oh,
She's done a few wrestling appearances. I think recently on the latest NXT pay-per-view, she was on there.
Oh, that's crazy. Have you actually thought about reaching out to them?
I have. Yeah, I've actually about this time last year, I reached out to Nina Strauss, but again, have not heard back. So I'm hoping, hey, maybe I've really been building my audience lately, really getting a lot of momentum. So hopefully soon I'll reach out again and do it.
Be persistent. I mean, granted, I didn't get an interview with we've seen Boyz II Men on my last show. Again, like I said, I didn't get an interview, but I did a cameo. I mean, that's still. I talked to my friends this day, like Jeff. No matter what, they're still on your show.
Yeah.
Because you did pay for the video. Not only did you pay for the video, but they're mentioning your name on the show. Because that video is yours. I can do whatever I want because otherwise they don't have like copy. You know what I mean? But again,
Yeah.
like I said, try to do it again. Reach out to Alice Cooper. I mean, sometimes it's hard. It's hard to reach out to these agencies because it's like you try to look for this certain person and you can't find them. But it only if you want to find them, you gotta pay this website.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, yeah. Back then you used to have to send videotapes and. When I was doing stuff with trying to get WWE on, try to interview some of those guys back when I was like 15, 16 years old, I was very mad. Okay, see, Vince McMahon, that's not how you do it. So I learned the process, and next thing you know, I got WCW's phone numbers. Hey, can do you get me an interview with such and such? And Wayne TV knew my contacts. So they got an interview with Shane Douglas. Shane Douglas remembers me from that, but it's like, it's crazy. Back then I had the vision of interviewing celebrities, but again, I was 19 years old. I didn't think in my head, dude, I could do that, but things happen. So my best advice to you is reach out.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely going to. I got a lot of great plans. Like May, I'm fully booked. I got 3 interviews a week for May, and that's really awesome. But yeah, June, July, and August are really open, so I'm definitely gonna be reaching out. Actually, I had an interview lined up with Bisto Blanco.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, they kind of got back to me late, and I was having really massive nosebleeds.
Oh.
Which are they were nasty. Because of where it was and it was a vein malformation, it wouldn't stop bleeding.
Oh.
So it was right up in my bone, and you can't pinch that because it's
Yeah.
bone. So I was having a really hard time stopping the bleeding, and silly me, I put it off for a month. That was a bad idea.
Oh.
So then actually right before COVID. So March 12th, the whole world kind of shut down March 13th, 14th. So I had my surgery on March 12th, which was also supposed to be a Bisto Blanco show in Illinois. And they didn't really get back to me right away with a for sure answer. So I was like, well, I'm just going to get the surgery done. And I'm lucky I did, because then the whole world shut down. I would not have been able to get the surgery and all that. So I'm hoping to revisit that one too with Bisto Blanco, because Chuck Garrick, he is the bassist for Alice Cooper, and actually Alice Cooper's daughter is part of Bisto Blanco.
You never know, you could make
Oh, yeah.
through that way. I mean,
it's all about connections, man. I've done so many great interviews, and it's really mostly because of connections. There's only a very few where I've reached out and they said yes. I don't know if you're familiar with September Morning. They're a metal band out of California. I got to interview Emily Lazar, and I just asked and they said yes. And that was my 4th interview I ever did. And I was really surprised they said yes, because I just started doing the interviews while I was doing my radio show, and I was just surprised that someone said yes.
It's shocking. Again, like I said, we're a business. I mean, we're there to push and promote people. I mean, that's why hey, there's a concert playing here in Fort Wayne. There's a concert in South Bend because you're from South Bend.
I am, yes.
I'm very familiar with South Bend. We'll get on that
pretty
soon. But again, like I said, it's making those connections. Now, are you on weekly, or how often is your show on? And how can I catch your show?
Oh yeah, so everything's on demand. I'm on Spotify, iTunes, Anchor, and I recently started the YouTube channel. So it's all Super Cool Radio. If you Google me, I do show up. My Facebook page shows up, and I'm also on Instagram and Twitter. So my show is about 2 to 3 times a week. They're usually uploaded at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Some of my super shows, which is where I spin music for 2 hours. That's also on demand, and those usually are at noon on a Friday. Once a month on a Friday at noon is when I release the show. But yeah, everything's on demand. So if you want to see, my Anchor channel has 116 episodes, and you can also catch that on iTunes and Spotify. Pretty much every major streaming service I'm on. It's all free. Just, if you want to follow my work, just subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Spotify and iTunes. That's the best way, because sometimes, I think as you know, sometimes your Facebook posts or Instagram posts, they don't reach people.
No.
So that's what I'm telling people. If you want to see all my work, follow me on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube.
There. Now, speaking of that, say for instance, if I want to be, I know I'm going to eventually be a guest on your show.
Of course.
But say for instance, if I was out there, I was an entertainer, and I never, hey, I want to be on this guy's podcast, radio show. How do I reach out to you?
The best way to do it, I respond to usually Instagram and Facebook, but the best way that I check every day is my email, and that is supercoolradio@yahoo.com. Feel free to email me, especially bands, if you want me to feature you on my show. Send a track. I'll give it a listen. I definitely will respond. I try to respond to everybody. Sometimes stuff get backed up. I'm out of town right now, so probably you'll hear back from me tomorrow and stuff. Because I'm gonna be late night driving.
That's funny you speak of from coming from out of town, South Bend. I've been part of some wrestling promotions down there, such as EHF, if you remember EHF.
Yep.
But there's a guy that we have a similar common with, Brutus Dillon.
Yes.
I seen he beat your ass.
Yeah.
In a segment, you're just trying to do an interview.
Yeah, I was just trying to do an interview with him, and he didn't take too kindly to talking about his former best friend Kevin Storm, and news to me, by the way, and he literally threw me off my own set.
Wow. I took a splash from him. I was at CHRW. This was like back in 2000 something, man. This splash just killed me literally in the corner and beat the crap out of me. I forgot what I did, but
you messed up, obviously.
I messed up. I know it was a tag match with him and Lance Story, and again, I just remember being splashed. So you also like wrestling as well. I mean, you also want to interview wrestlers. Besides independent ones, I'm talking about. Like,
honestly, I'm trying this year definitely. I mean, obviously, I have a lot of bands that I'm trying to interview because I'm either friends with or have connections with, but I'm also trying to branch out a little bit. That like not every episode is a musician. Even though I love music, obviously Super Cool Radio, feature the radio part, but I'm trying to branch out a little bit. I've done, obviously I interviewed Kevin Storm, Brutus Dillon, and Matt Starr for the first time like a year ago, and I've also interviewed, as you saw, Brutus Dillon, who, by the way, anyone doesn't know, he's a very big man. He's a very angry big man. Definitely.
Yes, he is, trust me.
Do not get on his bad side right now, but yeah, and if everyone doesn't remember, he is banned from my show for attacking me. So
you never know, he could show up anytime. I could be having him here right now.
Well, last
I shouldn't say that because I got attacked by him too.
Yeah,
so.
well, I don't know why you would want him on either.
I mean, yeah.
So, but yeah, no. I'm definitely branching out a little bit. As I said, June, July, and August, I'm working on getting some cool names in there. And I know May's will be mostly musicians, and of course, spinning my radio. But yeah, I love wrestling. I'd like to feature some wrestlers. So you're gonna be on the lookout for that as well.
What my big name wrestlers I want to have on is, I've had tons of them, from Eric Bischoff to Jake Roberts. The list goes on. I can't name.
You have a whole list for sure.
Who would you be your dream interview in wrestling? Mine would be Shawn Michaels or Hulk Hogan would be my dream interview.
Ooh, those are both really good.
Who would be yours?
I mean,
get an interview.
Well, I see the Undertaker's been doing interviews lately. I think that would be really cool to just chat about him, and he's again a very humble person as well. I've seen some of his latest interviews, so I would really like to interview him or Rob Van Dam, actually, recent Hall of Famer.
He's actually my first guest on A Dose of Landis.
Really?
So this is how it came about.
Yeah, I want to hear about this.
I'll tell you the story. Okay, now I've had Danny B. Severn. You know Danny B. Severn is really good friends of mine.
Yep.
Well, he came on my show, and at the time I was in the midst of switching my show up because I was doing a reality show. I was like, all right, I'm going to get out of the reality show business of doing reality. And I was like, all right, Dan Severn, come on. I'm on a Jeff Landis show, because the Jeff Landis show was the very first show that I've ever had. And I was like, all right. And then after the credits ran, I was like, man, that could be my first episode of Dose Landis with Dan Severn. So I was booked for Heroes and Legends to referee with Ric Flair was there, Steamboat was there. I'm sure you probably heard about that on thing about Flair.
Yep.
But they're like, well, just come down to Let's Comedy. He was like, well, just come down to the RVD show. I was like, do you want me to come to watch? Do you want me to bring the camera or what? Bring the camera. So at the end of the show, I talked to the agent of RVD, and we ended up doing an interview, and RVD was the very first guest on the Dose of Landis. And since, with the Dose of Landis, RVD, Aaron Carter, Nappy Roots, so I was like, all right, we got something going on here. So again, the RVD is a class act, man. If you get him on, let me know, and I'll come with you. I'll co-host that, because I owe RVD a gratitude for what he's done for me.
Yeah, no, I would definitely. I did get a selfie with him when Impact came to South Bend in October of 2019, so that was pretty cool. And now he's a Hall of Famer. But yeah, definitely, I would love to interview him. Talking about obviously ECW, WWE Impact. He's done a lot.
Oh yeah, he has. Yeah, all you gotta do is just reach out to these guys. Again, like I said, thank you for coming on A Dose. Anything to say to the fans out there that's watching?
Yes, please like, follow, and subscribe to Super Cool Radio. I have some really great stuff. If you like independent, up-and-coming music, local music from all over the world, check out Super Cool Radio. I'm on, as I said, Spotify, iTunes, Anchor, and YouTube. And thank you so much, Jeff. I got some great plans in the works. I know you do as well, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Trying to think of some other stuff. Again, like I said, doing this for forever. It's like, man, what can I do next? I mean, how could I top that? I'm trying to figure out how I can top that birthday show. I mean, the Hall of Fame show is good too, but how can I top my birthday show with those cameras?
Yeah.
So it's like,
You always have to think ahead. And also, if anyone wants this nice hat I'm wearing, it's $20 including shipping. So you contact me directly. I'm selling them directly, and I'm also working on getting more shirts made, like this one right here.
I might see if I can get a hat after the interview. But all right, guys, stay tuned for more, and thank you for watching A Dose of Landis. You see a crazy Dose of Landis. We got Enzo. One of my goals to get Enzo on. It wasn't an interview, but he posed for the video, which is awesome. Bill DeMont, again, you see him 30 full circle. Candace Michelle, Mona, just everybody excited to be here at Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'm back home. So this is my favorite place where I love to do interviews. Yeah, Jim Cornette in the past, Eric Bischoff, tons of huge names. Who?
Teddy Long.
Who?
Teddy Long.
Teddy Long, Jim Cornette when he got interrupted, right? No, the other April. No. But I'm excited to be here, get the referee. It's been forever. I'm jacked. Thank you, Copper Spoon, for letting me have the day off. Again, this has been a Dose of Landis. Speaking of a Dose of Landis, the next Dose of Landis, if you think this show was big, and the show that we had a boy spin on my birthday was big, the next show, I might as well reveal it to you right now, will be all the WWE Hall of Famers that's been on a Dose of Landis. Speaking of that 30, we got Money Incorporated, a little shot of them as well. So that has been 30 Hall of Famers on a Dose of Landis. So check this out. Paradise is where I belong. Thank you for watching Dose. You have been Dosed out.
Big White, you watch Dose of Landis here.
Welcome to A Dose of Landis. Welcome to A Dose of Landis. Jeff, Landis. Welcome to A Dose of Landis.
Landis Entertainment.
Welcome to A Dose of Landis. Landis. Welcome to A Dose of Landis. Welcome to A Dose of Landis. Welcome to A